Hey, it's the St. Pete Salt Podcast, back from a 3-week hiatus.
Has it been 3 weeks?
I think that's what you said.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's a good time off.
We're going to talk to Chris today. I know that you've got a lot on your mind. You've got the Chattajack race coming up. You have the Clearwater Classic a few weeks ago. Red Tide, of course.
Yeah, Clearwater Classic, Red Tide. That's been with us for about 8 weeks now.
The Red Tide has.
Yeah.
How's that affected your life, your person?
It's heartbreaking stuff, man. Let me flip this chair real quick. It's heartbreaking stuff. Yeah, I mean, literally there was no life at all in the intercoastal area where we paddle for miles and miles and miles, hundreds of miles, and it's devastating.
One day it was fine in our little section of the world. I know it's not fine in other spots.
Well, we went like 4 weeks of not being able to paddle in our area, which, when you paddle as much as we do, it's a significant impact on our lives, and it's soul-crushing stuff to actually see no life at all.
It was horrible.
Yeah, and the death toll was just unreal.
But that's what I was saying. One day, in our little section of the world, everything's there. It's fine.
Yeah, you're in paradise.
And then the next day, thousands of fish.
It was so bad that, like, when I saw a school of fish a couple weeks ago at Claudia's place, the Delicato, I started crying. Yeah. I mean, I hate to admit it, but like, we're out there so much. You know that. I mean, we go around the island. We do this loop probably like 200 times a year, literally 200 times a year, maybe even more. And it's a perfect combination of intercoastal paddling against currents with currents, and then open ocean paddling. So it's like you get this great training ground. When you do different races, you kind of have a different understanding of all the elements or what's going on out there. And I had literally gotten to a point that I didn't really notice the dolphins. You know what I mean? Because I paddle so much.
Before the red tide.
Before the red tide, because I've been doing it for so long. And like, once the red tide hit, I just realized like how much I missed them, and like the impact they have, not seeing them and seeing the life out there. It hurt, man. It hurt emotionally, hurt physically, probably in a lot of ways, I'm sure. Yeah, devastating stuff.
It was just heartwarming to see fish swimming around again.
Yeah.
Because it was weeks.
One of the best days of my life was when the fish came back. Because like in my head somewhere, I'm like, what if they never come back? What if I never get to see the dolphins again, But then some big waves came and we were out there surfing, and there were like a bunch of baby dolphins, which was weird because normally there's like one baby dolphin in a group that I see. It's normally for what I've seen over the years. I haven't studied dolphins or anything. This time there were 3 dolphins and 1 adult, which is very different than what you normally see. Yeah.
And they seemed happy.
They were surfing.
Yeah.
I always say you picked a good surf spot if the dolphins are out there. Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was rough, man. It was life finds a way. What the guy say from Jurassic Park. And even there's still red tide there, and you can see the current's having problems pulling it out of like pockets in the intercoastal. But it's starting to make its way out. Seems like, I know the water temp has to go down below like 74 degrees, which doesn't happen until January. So hopefully it clears out even more. But we've been paddling it. It's been better.
How do you know when you bounce into a pocket of it?
You can taste it in the back of your throat, and you start losing the ability to take deep breaths, and there's no life. Yeah, and it looks like shit color.
Yeah.
It looks like a toilet mixed up with shit. I know it's gross, but I mean, that's what it looks like. Yeah. But there seem to be these little slugs that eat the red tide. Because I noticed on the back of Claudia's docks, I saw them and I was like, that's nasty, what are those things? And then I noticed that there would be clean stripes where they were eating.
And they're definitely alive, it's not just
they're alive.
Slime.
No, they're alive. We even picked them up and looked at them. Or Dalton did. And they seem to, and I think the reason I've never seen them before, and I think there's a reason there's so many is because there's so much red tide. And I think these things are actually eating the red tide.
I noticed right after the red tide had happened and all the fish were dead, I noticed lobsters.
Dead?
No, swimming, like living lobsters.
Oh, really?
Little tiny, tiny baby ones like the size of your fingernail.
Oh, really?
Lots of them. And then like some larger ones.
In the red tide?
Yeah.
Doing well in the
They were
red
just
tide.
swimming around doing their thing. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if...
Maybe they could survive and then the fish aren't there to eat them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I was really surprised by that.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking badass.
Yeah.
Gives you hope.
Yeah.
You never think like, a slug would give you hope. Or a little lobster, and
Right.
you see it and you're like, man, this is awesome. Greatest day ever.
Yeah, it was cool to see the little lobsters. But
Yeah.
I think that to see them, like, I guess they were thriving. I hope. I don't know. I think there were some crabs in there also.
Yeah.
So maybe like the bottom feeders can stand it.
Well, I saw a lot of dead crabs.
You did.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's something I'm going to look into and study more, but I never thought I'd be studying it. But now that it's had such an impact on my life, I'm determined to help do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't want to do it based on ignorance and what I think I know.
People say this is the worst red tide in 13 years.
I've heard that, but but it's crazy to think that it was actually worse 13 years ago or 14 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's crazy. How bad was it? I mean, I hear guys talking about fish just stacked up on the beach. Now I know this year that they cleaned all the fish up before they got to the beach, most of them, and then they had beach cleanups.
Right.
So I don't think we could measure how bad this one actually was. It might have been the worst one ever.
Well, I do know that it's been reported that like 100 million tons of fish have been picked up.
Fuck, dude.
It's just not even a number I can fathom. 100 million tons.
No, I wonder how many people you could feed off 100 million tons.
Yeah, right.
Those are the ones picked up. How about the ones that sank to the bottom or got eaten by sea?
Yeah, because I think only a certain percentage float.
Yeah.
Because like if you look in a fish tank and a fish dies, sometimes they're on the bottom.
Yeah, sometimes they sink.
Sometimes they're floating on the top. So
Yeah.
Even if it's 50%, 200 million tons of fish.
Wow.
It's horrible.
Wow.
Have you seen the people scooping up the fish in the water?
Well, I know they paid some local fishermen to go clean them up. So I've seen guys like that out there doing that. That's a nasty job, man.
Yeah, it's so appreciated though.
Yeah. It hurt us because we raced Clearwater Classic and we didn't, we couldn't get in the mileage that we normally get in.
Mm-hmm. Beforehand.
Yeah, but we had a great race. Our ladies crew took first place by like 3 minutes, and they were super strong, super clean paddling. Our men's crew, we kind of got whooped a little bit. It was fun, dude. It was just great being in with the boys, but we just weren't clicking. It's like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when teams get out in the front of you, you get caught up in them being in front of you, and you kind of lose the feeling of the boat. And paddling is all about the feeling of the boat. You got to just be where you're at and kind of excel where you're at. We just struggled a little bit.
So how can you do that? How can you get past that need to judge?
Don't
yourself
expect you're going to be out front.
Yeah.
Be present in the boat and don't disconnect from the boat. It's hard to do, man.
Right.
It's hard to do. It's not like it's an easy thing to do, especially when you're used to moving at a certain pace and being in the mix, and then all of a sudden you're not.
Can you train for that?
It's kind of like the the Mike Tyson thing. I mean, if you look at Mike Tyson's biggest fights, he lost them because he didn't have the mentality to really grip in there, and he crushed a lot of guys. But when it came down to really getting to work, when he had to reach deep and go beyond what it takes mentally, it's kind of like that. I mean, how you teach that, it's something that either clicks or doesn't click. Mm-hmm. It's rare. It doesn't happen to us often, but it happened to us. And we got a chance of redemption in the niche race that's coming up in November. Mm-hmm. But it was good. Everybody did really good on the individual crafts and all that kind of stuff, and the ladies did really well. Caitlin and Emily. It was fun, man.
How many boats did you have out there with the crew?
One unlimited on the OC6 day, which was 3 different races, and then on the OC2s, I don't even know, quite a few. We're getting more and more all the time. Mm-hmm. I think Mark Cron just got an OC1, and Bobby Quigley got an OC1. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So people are taking the dive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's got to be...
To really be a good paddler, though, you got to have your own craft.
That's got to be 20 boats in the across that crew now?
I did the math the other day, and it was over $100,000 in boats.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot.
That's not bad.
Yeah. We'll be up to $250,000 here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got the Chatterjack and Chattanooga.
Chatterjack comes up. We got a girls team going up there, and I'm really excited about the girls team just because.
Is it a 6 or a 2?
It's a 6-man, and there's a 2-man girls team. The 6-man girls team is Jade, Shannon, Renissa, Michelle, and Anna, and then the OC2 girls is Caitlin and Emily. So super powerful teams. And then we got quite a few of the boys going up. I don't know all of them. I know it's me and Dalton, Bill and Robbie, Mark and Max, and then there's Peter Quigley in V1, Matt Barlow in V1, Claudia Clank in V1. God, there's quite a few, man. I almost didn't even realize there was that many people.
The only OC6 is women's though.
Yeah.
Is that race more of a 2 and a 1 race?
There's not a lot of OC6s. Yeah, because people can afford those most. I mean, an unlimited OC6 is like $24,000.
Oh, I didn't know if it was just because it's a river and it's tighter.
No, there's enough space to race.
No.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful race, man. There's like fog that comes down on the banks, and it's normally like 30 to 40 degrees out.
Is it supposed to be cold this year?
It's going to be 45 and 60, but when you're coming from where we come from,
right,
that's cold.
My car said it was 95 degrees outside yesterday.
Yeah, it's hotter right now than it was in July. Yeah.
So how do you prepare for that cold?
Well, you can't prepare for the cold. It's in some ways the cold is way easier than the heat for me.
Yeah.
At first it sucks because you're whatever, but once you get going, it's like the perfect blend. And especially if it's getting warmer as the day goes on, if it heats up to like 65, that's why you got to wear layers, because you got to start taking clothes off and be geared to like what you're going to feel like when you're mid to end the race.
So what do people wear in that race? Layers, obviously, but
wetsuit pants, wetsuit top. It's got to be the right kind of stuff. Maybe some dry gear over top of that, and then you need your hydration and you need your food with you.
How do they take the wetsuit stuff off if they're paddling these stuff?
Well, they'd have to. Yeah, it's the only way to get out of that stuff.
You wear boots?
I don't wear boots.
No.
I like to feel the boat.
Do you have boots?
Yeah, I have boots.
But you never wear them?
Never wear them. I'll probably give him to Noah, but he won't wear them. Yeah. The main thing is training for it. Like, I'm not a big, I don't go out and do like big miles. Like, I don't go out and paddle 30 miles because I'm doing a 30 race.
Is it
20 miles? A lot of guys do train that way. There's no right or wrong way. Everybody's got their own thing. Yeah. I just stick with like 8 to 10 miles and just do it consistently all the time. And then just go, okay, well, I'm doing 30 miles today.
Is it daunting when you wake up in the morning and think, all right, I'm doing 30 miles, even though I usually do 10 miles?
I fucking love it so much.
You're excited.
There's no moment that I don't enjoy about it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like prior, maybe being cold at the first part I don't like so much, but the race is so enjoyable, and spending time with my partner Dalton is so enjoyable, and having the kids out there and having them doing it, and if I finish before them, seeing them finish. No, man. I always think about like the Indians that used to hunt there, and that they would just be wearing like a loincloth in the middle of winter. You know what I mean? And I imagine them coming around a tree, pulling a bow, shooting a deer, and then paddling 18 miles back to feed the family. And I think about all the gear we have, all the high-tech shit, and the watches and the phones and the video.
So is that what you think about during 30
That's
miles?
exactly what I think about.
Yeah.
And as I see the Hawks come around the corner, I imagine what it would be like in the 1800s.
Probably not too different, right?
And
other than the technology.
Yeah, other than the technology and probably some of the litter. But that's really my focus, is like, it's so nice when you're on a big race, because that's exactly where you're supposed to be at that moment. There's so much freedom in it, mental freedom, man, because you can't really think about anything else. You're not worried about stress or relationships or work or making money. It's just, there comes that moment in every race when it's just time to paddle. And that's my favorite moment, is when it's just time to paddle, nothing else. You don't need to text, you don't need to take a phone call, you don't need to do anything, you just need to paddle.
Is race day paddle different for you than training paddle? Normal day paddle?
Well, training can be intense depending on who you're, paddling with. Sometimes we're like, today, we always say it's an easy day paddling, but it's sometimes those intramural races can really whoop you.
What's an easy day paddling? Just normal paddling?
Maybe there isn't an easy day paddling, 'cause sometimes it's harder to go slow than it is to work hard. When you paddle, when you love it the way we love it. But there's when you show up to a race, you want to do well. You want to beat the people you love. There's people you love in the water, but you still want to beat them. I mean, you meet guys, and you're like, hey, bro, nice to see you. And you're like, that guy barely got me last year. I really want to take him down this year. But it's nothing. It's done with full respect of each other. I think the highest form of respect you can show somebody in paddling is to beat them. Yeah. Especially somebody who's helped you develop and get better. Like I took my first whooping by intramural elite by Robbie and Max, beat me and Big Z.
Recently?
Yeah, I didn't like it, but
yeah,
I was proud of it.
Uh-huh.
I don't plan on beating us in the future, but it's going to be tough to,
Where was it?
It was a Treasure Island loop.
Yeah.
It beat us by about 1/10 of a mile. Yeah, it's a pretty good whooping.
How'd they feel, do you think? Did they celebrate it or show their emotions at all? Or?
Well, when they were paddling by us, Max told us that we looked great, which,
so he just passed you guys. That's what
Max isn't a dick, so he wasn't being a dick. He was being nice.
Yeah.
That's something that him and I talked about all the time. When you pass people, you're positive with them. So it was just shitty to have it done to me, even though it wasn't done in a bad, negative way. He was being honest. And then
did they just catch something that you didn't get onto, or how'd they pass you?
They outpaddled us. They were smoother, working together better, and Zach and I started kind of chasing, and we started just working hard, and we kind of lost the flow of the boat. It's tough, man, when someone passes you to keep a flow of a boat going properly and kind of stay in your zone. But we got a game plan.
So would you rather they be 1/10 of a mile ahead of you the entire loop, or would you rather they pass you at the end?
Well, there were a lot of lead changes in the beat early on, yeah, because they weren't sinking right away. But as soon as they started to sink, everything started changing. Then you could see, and I knew I didn't put them together by accident. I put them together because I knew they were going to be legit. Yeah, I mean, Max don't get tired. Robbie's a powerhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are they paddling together at Chattajack?
No, Robbie's paddling with Bill.
Okay.
And Max is paddling with Mark. And those are good combos.
And who's Noah paddling with?
Who's Noah paddling with? Noah's paddling with... No, Max is paddling with little Zach. And Noah's paddling with Mark Crum.
Okay. And Max and Zach have paddled.
It's going to be interesting because it's 30, the mileage. Together. I know Bill hasn't done the mileage. I know Robbie hasn't done the mileage.
They're both strong, though.
Oh, yeah, they're phenomenal. The challenge in that race is to stay within your game.
What does that mean?
That means that you can't be caught up. It's 31 miles, man. I mean, if you have 25 miles in, you still got 6 miles to go. There's a long way to go. So a lot can happen at the 20-mile mark. So, it's about staying in the flow and the rhythm and feeling your boat. And then when you hit certain points of the race, to understand where you can give more and is it flowing, can we add, and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of management going on in there. And you got to make sure you're on top of your hydration, your fuel, because you're not hydrating and fueling because you're thirsty then or hungry then. You're doing it for 4 hours later. Imagine paddling for 2 hours and 15 minutes and you got 2 hours and 30 minutes left, or 2 hours and 15 minutes left.
So how do you hydrate?
I hydrate probably every 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes.
You just take a small sip?
Yep, rinse out my mouth and sip some. I don't take massive amounts. I just kind of sip as I go through. And then, as far as fuel goes, I don't really know necessarily what I'm going to be taking this year.
What do you usually do? Like those gel things?
No, I don't do gels. My stomach doesn't do well with those. I normally do like a high-fat something.
Like what?
Like some peanut butter bars, like just little pieces, and then I'll
You make them yourself?
No, I'll get them. They're already made, but they're low in like carbs and things like that. And then as I get towards the end, depending on how I'm feeling, is if I need sugar, I'll do like organic gummy bears, just because they taste great. You know.
So you stop?
I don't stop.
How do you get them?
I set everything up so I don't have to miss a paddle stroke. Like I don't even stop to drink. Like when I take a stroke to drink, I can set my blade and go like this and pull with a lot of power, and then set up and grab. It's something I train on.
Where do you put your food?
Because if you take a drink every 7 minutes, if you miss a stroke every 7 minutes, and you're used to going like 12 foot per stroke, and now you're going 6 foot per stroke, and you multiply this time 10, you've lost freaking 60 feet.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big difference. It adds up. So you're looking at maybe 1,000 feet by the time the end of the race. So all these little things you do in a race like this have a significant impact on your overall performance.
Yeah, 8 to 10 probably per hour.
Yeah.
Sips per hour.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're looking at 60 feet per hour multiplied times. Yeah, so it's like 600.
Yeah.
You know, 300.
Tenth of a mile. There's your tenth of a mile.
Yeah, that's it.
Right there. So how do you do your food? Your fuel?
I just jam it in my mouth.
Like where do you put it then? You like dangle it?
No, I keep it in, I take a piece of tape and tape it on my boat so I can just grab it and then open it up. I'm a little paranoid about the bacteria in the water, but the temperature of the water is pretty cold, so I don't want to.
I'm not crazy about drinking water on the boat right now either.
Especially on the Chattanooga. But it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful races in the world. Yeah.
You've done it a bunch of times now.
I think I've done it. Yeah, I think I've done it like 5 times?
Really?
6 times?
Yeah. Did you ever do it on a paddleboard?
Stand-up paddleboard, yeah, I took 4th.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that your first go?
I got knocked over by a sculling crew. They were sculling the same spot, and they ran into me, and I flipped over the top.
Those paddles are big.
Yeah, and I flipped, and at the point I had been surfing so much, I'd been used to and I was automatically, I was like, are you guys all right? And they're like, fuck, are we all right? Are you all right? They're like, go to this bar, we'll buy you a beer tonight.
So there's Skull, there's Outrigger.
Skulls they were training.
Oh, they
weren't in the race.
No. Okay. Were they going in the opposite direction?
Yeah.
Did you see them coming, or did you just smash into them?
I was just feeling good, taking off fast, digging my times. Next thing I know, I looked up and I was getting clipped by some of the young kids.
The paddles or the
vessel? Yeah, the paddles cracked me.
Jeez. That's not a good day.
I didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of other canoes or paddleboards around you?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's a bad day for them to be out there.
Or a great day. I mean, they're just training.
Yeah.
It's
How wide is the river?
Pretty wide.
It is.
Yeah.
So you could
big freaking, big things that move those giant things down there. I forget what they're called, but they're massive boats on the river.
Huh.
And create a little wake too.
Oh, so it's not like I'm picturing it like a
No,
Crystal River.
It's not like that at all.
Okay.
No. You could easily drown there.
Yeah.
Currents are cooking, man. Yeah.
Are they going to be favoring you, or?
They're always favoring you, but the wind seems to always be against you.
Oh, really?
Now, there's been some years where it hasn't been, where Max and I did stand-up 2-man, and we still have the record there on stand-up 2-man. And we did it in like 5 hours flat. 5 hours, 47 seconds.
Wow.
It was great.
That's a long time, though.
Yeah, we had just caught Larry Kane, who almost caught him in the very end, he's the guy that won it on stand-up. And he's used to be an Olympic knee paddler. He's phenomenal. And we were so proud that we even got up there and got in the mix on that.
Would you ever do it again?
Tandem?
Yeah.
Max was like the perfect size and weight to add that little motor back there. He was like 85 pounds and like 13, and it was just and I wasn't really that fit at that point because I was pretty fit, but I wasn't that fit because I was I had just had some issues and I just couldn't train as much as I wanted to. So it was perfect having him back there. It was a great time for us. We had a blast.
You think the conditions wouldn't work that perfectly this time?
No.
You guys are older.
If we had the right board, probably I'd be into it, but I really like paddling the outriggers.
Yeah, you don't
I like surfing stand-ups and intense stuff, but I like paddling the outriggers.
Just as a once-a-year thing, you don't want to waste it on.
Yeah.
Not waste it, but you don't want to lose the opportunity to be on the OC?
Probably V1 would be my next,
Really?
if I did it, yeah, if I switched crafts or something like that.
Then are you competing against V1 or are you competing against one-person vessels?
You're only if there's 3 V1s, then there is a competition. If there's only 2, then there isn't one. You're probably put in the OC1 category.
And then you just, I don't think...
I'm kind of jealous of the boys that are going to V1 it before me,
But
I'm proud of them.
can a V1 keep up with them? I mean, all things
man.
being equal?
Yeah, it depends who's paddling it.
Right, but if it's, all things being equal, if the paddlers are, if it's the same paddler, let's say,
A V1 is a way more challenging craft.
Right.
It's so much more mentally engaging because you can't disconnect from your craft at all. In an OC1, because of the steering, you kind of control it from behind. Even though you're reading the water up front, you're controlling from the behind. In a V1, you have to control it from the stroke and the pull. So there's always this connection going on. Any disconnection and angle of wind or thing like that, and you're going to get thrown, you're going to get work. Because you might be paddling on a V1, you might be paddling on one side for 30 minutes straight if the winds aren't right. And then on the other side, whereas an OC1, you can do 10 and 10 and 10 and 10, right? And just kind of even the thing out and be that's a big, big advantage. And they're super light.
So if you were to do an 8-mile loop on an OC1 that has a rudder, and then do the next day or the next couple days do the same loop.
I've done this already, but I've
done
much
is faster.
I'm not skilled enough on a V1 to even really have that comparison, and I'm about 6.5 minutes slower on a V1. Okay. But that's because I don't have the skill for it.
So, say someone who was raced on a V1, and it's also great.
I think Dalton is actually faster on a V1 than he is on an OC1.
Interesting.
He's super smooth. Yeah.
I wonder, why do you think that is? It's just more challenging, maybe.
I think the V1 has a little better glide, and I think it just suits him really well.
I wonder if that it's more challenging. I wonder if that keeps his mind on it a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be totally present on the V1.
And that just allows him to be a little bit more.
And he loves it. When I'm in a V1, I'm just thinking, this is hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I mean, I love it, but and that's what I love about it, is I love the hard work aspect of it. So maybe I make it hard work. He just loves being out there.
Interesting.
Yeah. But Chattajack's it's a big race, and Ben Freeberg does a beautiful job. The way they set it up, and it's incredible.
How many competitors do you think?
Is there 400? Wow. Yeah. It sells out in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys hang out afterwards?
Yeah, they do the awards, and I always remember, because there's this little hut at the very end, and I always go get a cherry Dr. Pepper or a cheer wine and a moon pie.
Oh yeah.
And that's because I don't cheat much, but
that's it.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, Max always talks about that chocolate milk.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's available at Publix, but I think it just must taste completely different after you do 30 miles.
Yeah, it's like surfer starved. He's so starving at that point.
Yeah, it just tastes that much better.
Yeah. And they're going back for redemption too, because they had to pull out last year because it was so cold.
Oh,
well, him and there's no body fat there, man. Yeah. So
is everybody going more prepared this year in terms of like clothing and stuff?
Yeah. Well, last year I set them up with the proper gear, but they didn't wear the proper gear. They didn't listen to me. So maybe you boys will listen this year.
Did you have the talk with the whole crew that's going up? What they need to take?
Yes. The thing is you don't want to overcoach people. It's not my job to, if like with the girls in the 6, they're athletes. I don't treat our girls like they're girls. I treat them like they're athletes, and that's how I see it. If 6 men went up there and had the OC6, they would load it, unload it. They wouldn't ask for help from anybody, and they wouldn't want anybody to help them. They would handle their boat. I expect the exact same thing from my athletes this year. They're athletes, man, and they can do it. They know it. I know it, and that's kind of the common. Not that questions about things. I'm there. What should I wear? What would be good gear?
So do you think
that's stuff they can bounce off each other as well. That's
Yeah.
not, they don't necessarily need me for that.
Do you think it's better to...
My job is to see their potential and bring out the best of them. That's my responsibility to them. Whether they believe that, that's probably the most important part. Whether do they buy into that I believe in them? Do they know that I'm telling them the truth? When they say they can't, I know they can. That's probably but the rest, I have total faith, and they're going to have to get things wrong. I mean, that's part of it too, is getting things wrong. It's not a journey. Paddling is not a journey where I give you all the answers. Paddling is a journey where you have to have certain achievements to understand what I'm talking about in the first place, you know? And in years from now, things I've said, they'll go, oh, that totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get what he was talking about. That's what he meant by this or whatever.
Do you think the 30-mile race could expedite some of those answers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you paddle for 5 hours. It's
Mm-hmm.
a totally different insight into who you are, you know?
What are you going to eat before the race? Days before?
Days before, a lot of eggs, bacon, probably some peanut butter, no bread or anything, no really carbs. I'll pretty much stay keto the entire time. In the morning of the race, I'll have coffee with a lot of butter, and then I'll probably have 6 eggs, hard-boiled eggs.
Mm-hmm. And that'll get you going for the first few
I'll be going. I'll be ready.
hours at least.
I'll be ready because I'll be going easy. I'm used to training every day, man. I mean, I'm going to take today off, but that's just almost prep for the race. I'm used to going every single day pretty hard. So prior to the race, I'll be off. I'll do an easy paddle on Thursday. I'll be off on Friday, just yoga and stuff like that, getting loose. And some just miscellaneous stuff, but I'll be ready to roll come race day.
When is race day?
I like to be like a fighter on race day. Like I'm ready to get out of the gate Saturday.
Not this Saturday.
No, next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
What do carbs do to you? You said you don't eat carbs before the race. I don't think you eat carbs normally.
Not normally. They just slow me down. Like if I want to slow down and relax, I'll have some carbs to kind of do that. But for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
I like being in a fat burning state.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps me on my toes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of fasting.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Like today, I haven't eaten yet. I probably won't eat till 1 or 2. And then when I eat, I'll probably have some eggs, some cheese. You know, not much.
How many eggs do you eat a day?
Well, if I got hard-boiled eggs, I'll probably eat 6 to 7 with 2 to 3 yolks. And then if I cook eggs, I'll eat 2 to 3. You know, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll do a kombucha during midday. You know, just to get some hydration in there. That's good, man. And then we have the niche race, which is a race down in Miami. So hopefully we'll get a good run down there as well.
And what's that one all about? It's hotter, for sure.
Yeah, 8-9 miles, I think. And then what's cool is we put the OC6 on top of my truck. So it'll be the first time we've done a distance, you know, versus having a big trailer. We just load it on the truck.
How are you getting the OC6 to Tennessee?
We're putting it on a trailer.
Yeah.
Someone's trailering it up for us. Yeah.
So you're taking the OC6 down to Miami?
Down to Miami for the niche race, and hopefully the boys get a little better run, and then the girls get to go up and face their challenges down there, I'm excited about that because initially you had Caitlin steering and now you got Emily steering. So Emily has the pressure of going down there, and because people are gunning for them now. Once you win, people want to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
A lot of the same crews.
It's almost tougher that way, I think. When people don't expect much from you, it's kind of, you can go up there and
Yeah, but I think people have seen what the women's cross-up crew has been doing for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think that it was completely unexpected.
No, well, yeah, they were probably coming to beat them. I mean, you know, but it's different when you got different steersmen. The pressure's different. It's different, man. It's a different. You know, when you switch up the group, there's a dynamic change in there. You know, and it's not about we're going down to try to win, but it's more of an investment into the future of these athletes. You know, I ask myself, what would be the best and most challenging thing for the athlete? Well, it would be very comfortable to take Caitlin and put her in the 6. It's the steering position, right? Put Emily in 1 and line it up the exact same way we had it. That would be the comfortable thing to do. But what makes these athletes better in the future is investing in putting Emily back there, putting Caitlin in the 1, and mixing up the crew a little bit and challenging them that way, so that you're investing in the long term. You're looking 3 to 5 years down the road. You're not going, hey, we need this trophy.
Right.
You know, those things don't mean anything. What matters is they got the pressure of the race, which is good, but you also have the crew dynamic switch up. So it does, to me, it doesn't matter. It matters how they race, not how they finish. And then it's well worth the investment of their futures to do that.
How many women's crews are going to be down there, do you know?
I don't know. There was 7 this time.
7 in Clearwater.
Yeah, Clearwater.
And it's probably a lot of the same people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of crews got guns, man. I tell you what, those men's crews were tough. So were the ladies' crews, but I mean, I looked at the people in them, I'm like, obviously I came home and went right back to work with what we need to do to have a better showing.
So which race are you more anxious about or looking forward to, the Chattanooga race or the Florida race?
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited about a few things. One thing is pretty much the training for this season and everything that I've worked on is completed. So that's exciting for me because I get to start the next generation of reinventing all this stuff. And I've been working, and as you know, I've been working on a lot of new stuff in the gym and on the water, some, which I can't really go into too much detail, but I like to treat it like it's a petri dish. There's things I have to work on that I don't share with the crew, that I can test and validate that works and how it works and how it applies before I roll it out. And there's things that are now getting rolled out to the crew that will help them get to the next level as well. So for me, it's a really exciting time because I'm really open-minded about things that I'm doing training-wise, and I get to reinvent everything. And that's where I'm at with it now. So the season's got 2 more races, and then our next race is going to be M2M. So it's a great, great time. And then I'm going to Guadalupe to do a downwind camp for a week.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you find out about that?
Ralphie Steintz invited me, and I'm like, man, I talked to Cindy. She's like, yeah, I think you need to go. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And it's like, I think it's like 12 to 15 mile downwinds every day.
For how long?
For like 6 days in a row.
Wow.
I've never done anything like that. I can't imagine downwinding that much. Boat support, everything.
So
All you gotta do is bring your paddle.
Yeah.
Some sunblock, yeah.
It's exciting. When are you doing that?
January?
That's soon.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
You think you'll learn a lot?
Oh yeah, I always learn a lot.
Yeah.
I learn a lot from winning, losing, middle of the pack, failing, succeeding. I learn a lot all the time.
I can't wait to hear more about that.
I'm always on the cusp of like great ideas.
Definitely have to have you and Ralphie in together.
Yeah. Well, Michael's going too. Mikhail.
Oh yes,
He's
okay.
going too.
Well then, yeah, we've got 3 chairs in here, so
Yeah, that'd be fun.
that'd be a great conversation. Well, we should probably stop there. Unless you have anything else that you want to.
I don't think so. Good luck to everybody at Chattajack, man. I'm really excited. And the crew's really just coming together, man, more and more all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're actually going to do a gear shoot where we take all the outriggers and put them on Sunset Beach, and Cindy's going to come out and take pictures.
Oh, nice.
And that should be pretty freaking incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you going to do that?
I don't know. Probably when it cools down a little bit. And then I'm also working on a new program, which is where I train people, athletes, that you basically are responsible to have certain gear, like a mace, Indian clubs, sandbag, whatever the gear is. And then it'll be on a certain day of the week. Might be on the beach, might be in a park. And I'll pick different spots and put it on the schedule, and you can come to that workout and bring, this is the gear you need, this is the program, be here at this time, and that'll be the workout. So it might be some close to your house, might be some out at the beach. It can be a really cool, I got some really great ideas with this, man. And it takes us more out of the gym.
Yeah,
We'll still do Wednesday nights in the gym, but it'll take us out of the gym and kind of give everybody more of a taste of like things that I do and more of a, kind of like what we do on Monday, more of an integrated program will be.
When do you think you'll start that?
After we get through the race season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about that. Yeah, it's cool. Imagine if I'm like, hey, bring your mace and your gravity boost, and this is where we're meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Or bring your chain, your 20-pound chain, and your mace, and we're meeting at the beach. Man, we could really do some cool stuff. There's so many great exercises that are just out in the world that aren't in a box. That, man, the potential is just unlimited. And I used to do a lot of beach training. It was stellar. You know, I still think you need the gym. I believe in the gym, but I think I know there's other opportunities to do things that will just be mind blowing, and it'll just take our athletes and put them on a level that they won't even be able to comprehend. It'll just be getting to points that they can't even imagine they can go to. I know they can, but.
So is that going to be a weekly thing?
That'll be a weekly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be my workout. They'll be joining me for my
It'll
workout.
be your workout.
So it'll be like you guys do. You guys come to my workout, you pay a small fee, but that's just part of it, you know?
That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, well, I can't wait to hear more about that too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So stay steady, friends. We'll talk to you soon.